All right, let's take a look and see what I did for the preseason. Oh, oh no. Oh, I put the Oakland Athletics as a playoff team. I'll be better about this one, I promise. Welcome to the Dugout. I'm your host, Joseph Silva, and on today's episode, I'm going to be done milking the trade deadline after this, but not before we talk about who I think is going to win the World Series after the deadline moves have been done and completed. But not only that, we're going over division winners, wildcard winners. I'm giving you a whole playoff preview, and it's guaranteed to be somewhat right. But before we get started, if you're enjoying the content, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the Run the Play Network. Anthony's Thunder are NBA champions. My Dodgers are World Series champions. Phil's Lakers have Luka Doncic. Subscribing to the Run the Play Network brings success to your teams. Or you can always choose not to, but I wouldn't risk it. Now, we begin with the division winners here, and we start in the American League. And I know I shit on this team a lot, constantly, some would say. But I don't think the Blue Jays are winning the East. I think it's the Yankees, and yes, has the super bullpen imploded in ways never before seen? Yes. Is Aaron Judge hurt? Yes. But I think the Yankees are the most complete of the three teams that are vying for the AL East crown. Is Boston. The rotation has a lot of question marks. We'll talk about them in a second. Toronto, I'm not a believer in whatsoever. Yes, the offense is amazing. It's one of the best in baseball. But, the rotation is just guys who are slightly above average, not really the best by any means. So, yeah, give me the Yankees. The Super Bowl pen will work itself out here. But maybe, just maybe, Yankees announcers don't, comment on a player's physique and his decline and all that. Because then he's going to hit a game-tying home run off you. Jock Peterson did it. That was on you guys. In the Central, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about him. It's them gritty Tags, man. The Detroit Tigers are phenomenal this year. They are, without a doubt, the best team in baseball. They have a top 10 offense, a top 10 pitching staff. Tarek Skubal, you know how good he is. They added Chris Paddock and Charlie Morton, who I think could be very sneaky deadline adds this year. I've been on record saying that, I don't really like Olsen and Flaherty behind Skubal, but the Tigers pitching lab, especially with Chris Fitterich, the pitching coach, ooh, they're going to be cooking. They're going to be cooking good. And yes, you got a very good bullpen. Finnegan is not going to blow people away with this stuff by any means. And if you look at it too, Rafael Montero is good. We'll see what Paul Sewald's going to look like when he comes back from the IL. But these are all solid moves to not recreate pitching chaos, but bring a little bit of that spice, that flair, as it was, back to the team. Now, the West, it's competitive. But it's got to be Houston, man. They rebuilt the infield. They filled that Isaac Paredes-sized hole at third base with Carlos Correa. Yes, the ankle is concerning, but you have Ramon Urias as a stopgap. Jesus Sanchez looks like he's going to be a very good addition in that outfield. Finally, Jose Altuve can plop his ass at second base and be fine. Christian Walker, if he starts getting things going, that can really just be the final piece in this infinity gauntlet of a lineup here. The rotation, you know how good Hunter Brown is, and it's going to get even better once Christian Javier and Spencer Arrighetti come back. The bullpen is a weapon, man. Josh Hader, I'm not want to say he's like 2018 Josh Hader, because 2018 Josh Hader was something different. But, Josh Hader has been electric at the end of the bullpen here. I think he is going to be big, big, big for this team 100%. Now we switch over to the National League here, and let's see who I have winning the East. It's competitive. It's neck and neck. It's the Mets. Yeah, the Mets look so damn good here. As they didn't take the Yankees approach of, just filling their bullpen full of dudes, the old Ned Colletti approach of if they can close, they can be in the bullpen. But, Ryan Helsley, Tyler Rogers, and Edwin Diaz, ooh, that's a very good bullpen for sure. The lineup, yeah, you still have question marks at catcher. Francisco Alvarez has been really good since he came back from the IL. I just question whether or not it's sustainable. On top of that, too, if you're looking at it, yeah, we all know Mark Vientos was going to struggle coming back at third. Turns out Mark Vientos is struggling at third base. But they did fill the gap in center field. Is I say Cedric Mullins is Tyrone Taylor who can hit. So already he's not as good a defender as Tyrone Taylor, but the bat and the defense should be enough to really help deepen this Mets lineup. They are a more well-rounded team with a lot less holes than Philadelphia, so that's why I think they're going to take the East. In the Central, it's the Chicago Cubs, man. The Pope, he put his energy on the wrong team. The Cubs are fantastic this year. In my opinion, they have the best lineup in baseball. You know how good Pete Crow Armstrong is. You know how good Seiya Suzuki is. You know how good Dodger legend Michael Busch is. Every bat in this lineup, with the exception of Matt Shaw, has been incredible this year. And with the addition of Willie Castro, the Cubs are really looking even more deadly offensively if Shaw can't get it going. Yes, I understand. The rotation is god-awful. It's Matthew Boyd, Shota Imanaga, has not been the best since coming off the IL. And we'll see if Michael Soroka lives up to the StatCast darling that he has been projected to be. But it's too many question marks here. We don't even know what Javier Assad's going to look like when he gets back here. But there's at least a plan in place with a very good bullpen after that. Yeah, the Cubs are going to win the Central, especially with Mizorowski's forearm bruise. Yeah, the Brewers, they don't have enough gas to win this one. And finally, in the NL West, oh, who could it be? Oh, this is so hard. Just look at the set. Of course I'm picking my Dodgers here. Of course they're going to be the team that wins it here. Yes, do I understand? Since the start of July, have they been the worst offense in baseball? Perhaps. Is the pitching staff a little bit chaotic and injury prone? Perhaps. Is the bullpen been messy? Perhaps. But there's so much talent on this team, and for them all to collapse and be cold at the same time and long enough for San Diego to come up and catch them, I just don't see it happening here. Dodgers are going to win yet another NL West crown. Pencil it in as always. Now, we do have 6 more playoff teams to get to, but before we do, let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Baseball's in full swing this summer, and if you're someone who knows ball, you need to check out Boom Fantasy. You could cash out if you predict things like hits, strikeouts, and RBIs. Boom's the only platform you could cash out 500 times your money on just a 2-leg parlay. If baseball isn't your thing, the WNBA is also in full swing this season, and there's a lot of superstars making their names for themselves. I've been loving cashing out on Angel Reese overs because everyone's just hating on her. If you never heard of this platform before, or if you don't know betting's for you, use code RTP for a risk-free bet up to $100. That's code RTP, and it's the best way to support this show. Let's get back to the video.
Now, the first wild card in the American League, I'm going out on a limb here. I'm saying it's going to be Seattle. Yes, we talk about the rotation is so good. George Kirby, Castillo, Gilbert, Brian Wu, Bryce Miller, they're all great. But they're not been pitching great. They are a very, slightly above average rotation statistically. They have all the potential in the world. It's just really, can they finally get it to click here? And I think now that the Death Star is fully operational, you're going to start to see them be a lot more consistent as a rotation. The offense has actually been surprisingly good. They just had glaring weaknesses at third and first base here. And surprise, surprise, they went ahead and got the third baseman and the first baseman from one of the best offenses in baseball, with the additions of Eugenio Suarez and Josh Naylor. Is this Mariners team, I don't care what kind of bad voodoo or juju's around this club. I think they are ready. They are hungry. I think they will be wild card number 1 in the AL. Wild card number 2, I got the Boston Red Sox. The offense is phenomenal here. If Jaron Duran is the odd man out in the outfield, that's how you know you have a good offense. Alex Bregman has been killing it this year, to say the least. They're getting contributions from everybody up and down the lineup. Even Trevor Story, of all people, is having a great season. Yes, that Trevor Story. On top of that, they have one of, if not the best bullpen in baseball, and they added to that 2 with the addition of Steven Matz. Oh, it looks so good. The one question mark I have for Boston is the rotation. Yes, Garrett Crochet, by some divine miracle, is right up there with Tarek Skubal as the best pitcher in the American League. And that's saying something, man, because Skubal has been Kershaw-esque. But, Crochet, not that far behind him. Unfortunately, the gap between Crochet and Lucas Giolito, who I will comfortably say is the number 2 in this rotation now, is a Grand Canyon-sized gap. Is Giolito, don't get me wrong, he's been very good. He's been very hot. But he is not a number 2 at this point in his career. He is a very good number 3. So you're looking at it, Walker Buehler, I love you. You're right there on the set. You've not been great this year. Dustin May, don't make me laugh. Brian Bayo, no. Richard Fitz, no. Tanner Houck, no. No one is stepping up in this rotation behind Crochet and Giolito here, and that's really the Achilles heel of this Red Sox team. Be very interesting to see what happens to them, but based on the strength of their lineup in the bullpen, I think they are very comfortably a playoff team. And the last playoff team in the AL is out west with the Texas Rangers. Yes, is the lineup not great? Absolutely, it is not great. But they could get hot. Jake Berger has shown that he can be that dude. Jock Peterson, yes, he may have let himself go, but he is still a great hitter in there somewhere. Let's see if he taps into that a little bit here. Especially because he is an October warrior, man. Jock Peterson, I think, could really get going here. If he does, he unlocks so much potential in this lineup. Because, Carter, Langford, Seager, fantastic. Josh Young, starting to turn it around a little bit here. Marcus Semien, I should not have put you as a top 40 player, but, you are fine for what you are at this point in your career. The rotation, is nasty. It is nasty. It is triple X kind of nasty here. You got Jacob deGrom. You got Nathan Eovaldi. Merrill Kelly has now joined the rotation. Trump administration Patrick Corbin is back, baby. That 1 through 4 in a playoff rotation, incredible. If Tyler Mahle comes back this year, Corbin goes to the bullpen, which is a solid unit, by the way. And you have, quite frankly, the best playoff rotation in the 2020s coming at you. Ooh, this Rangers team is so damn good. It's just, I need to see more from this lineup to really have them, up there with the Houston and Seattle in their division. Really take them seriously as one of the contenders in the American League. For the NL, wild card 1 for me is very obvious. If it was either the Phillies or the Mets, it's the Phillies in this case. Their rotation is the best in baseball. Their lineup, yes. Is it really just 3 dudes and then a hope and a dream after that? Yes, but Harrison Bader is going to come in and contribute in a big, big way here for Philadelphia. The bullpen is now a lot better with Ryan Kirkring not having to close games. You now have Johan Duran. Ooh, man. He looks good in Philadelphia. He really fits that Phillies vibe. Is there something cooking with this team that really can shine? It's just I don't trust the lineup and, the arms leading up to Duran. But regardless, I think this Phillies team is phenomenal this year. After that, I have the Padres as the wild card 2. Yeah, I have to at this point. They're so damn good. Is their lineup, with the exception of Freddie Fermin, does not have a weakness in it. The bullpen, Miller, Suarez, Adam, Morejon, Estrada, Matsui, incredible. The rotation, it does not look like Michael King's coming back this year. Yu Darvish has been solid since he's come back off the IL, but Darvish, Pivetta, and then you're looking at, the Hialeah kid and Nestor Cortez. Shout out Freddie Freeman. You're looking at JP Sears after that. The rotation doesn't necessarily scream area of strength for me, but, the rotation is not going to be asked to carry that many innings here. They are going to be fantastic once that bullpen comes in. Padres are number 2. And the last team, I have to put the Brewers, man. Yes, they are so damn good. Churio, great. The lineup, fantastic overall. He's not, 2019, 2018 Christian Yelich, but Christian Yelich is still very damn solid. He's not the best catcher in baseball, but William Contreras, also very solid, and now has a Danny Jansen backup to kind of give him to be the Dalton Rushing to his Will Smith as it was. On top of that, the bullpen, phenomenal. The 1-2 punch when he comes back of Jacob Mizorowski and Freddie Peralta. Ooh, I don't want to face that in a wild card series. I will tell you that much. but it just looks like it is going to be a dogfight in the National League because you still have the Reds who are incredibly scary. The Giants sold, but they can be a little bit of a dark horse here. You got so many teams in the NL. Oh, it's going to be a bloodbath. I am ready for it here, which means it's now time to talk about the playoffs themselves here. And in the first wildcard series, I have the 3-seed New York Yankees versus the 6-seed Texas Rangers. And unfortunately, New York will only be played once at Yankee Stadium because I have the Rangers winning this one 2 games, 2-1 here. Yes, you have Rodon and Max Fried at the top of the rotation, but really, Luis Gil maybe will start Game 3. Will Warren will have to face, Merrill Kelly, who is a playoff warrior in his own right. On top of that, Peterson and Berger, I think, can really take advantage of the short porch and left at Yankee Stadium. I think the Rangers do just enough here to sneak past the Yankees. And plus, since the invention of the 6th seed, a 6th seed has advanced to the division series every single year. Yeah, you have to pick the 6th seed, and the Rangers are the one I trust more here. In the AL 4-5, I have the Mariners defeating the Red Sox in a clean sweep here. Yes, this Red Sox team is fantastic. They have a great bullpen. They have a nasty lineup. Garrett Crochet going toe-to-toe with, I'll say Brian Wu starts Game 1. Oh, that is going to be absolute cinema. But unfortunately, Seattle, and more particularly T-Mobile Park, is going to be rocking. It's just too hostile of an environment, too good of a pitching staff. And yes, the bullpen isn't the most solid, but I think Brash and Munoz can do enough to hold off this Red Sox lineup. I think the Mariners take this comfortably. In the 3-6 in the National League, I have the Brewers facing the Mets, and I have the Mets taking this one. Yes, is Jacob Mizorowski and Freddie Peralta incredibly terrifying to face? Absolutely. However, I think Kodai Senga and, we'll say Clay Holmes. Senga and Holmes can hold their own against a far inferior lineup, especially compared to that of the Mets. I think the Mets will once again take out the Milwaukee Brewers in the wild card series. And in the 4-5, this might honestly be the series of the playoffs here. I went back and forth on this one for the longest time, but I have the Phillies beating the Padres here. Simply because, if you look at it, I trust Zach Wheeler. I trust Jesus Luzardo. I trust Ranger Suarez. I trust Christopher Sanchez more. Whichever of the aforementioned 3 will pitch behind Wheeler in this series, I trust them a lot more than, Dylan Cease, Michael King, Nick Pivetta, Yu Darvish. They just don't match up as well. On top of that, you're playing at the bank. Yeah, the Padres are going to put up an admirable fight, but they will not get it done. Yes, I am a Dodger fan. Go Cry San Diego. In the division series, the 1-seed Tigers will host the 4-seed Mariners, and yeah, the Tigers are going to steamroll Seattle. You're going to see the lack of bullpen depth come out here. You're going to see a very inconsistent lineup come out here for Seattle. They're going to get steamrolled. Tigers take that in 4 games. In the second division series in the AL, it's Houston versus Texas in a 2023 ALCS matchup. And you thought what the Tigers did to the Mariners was cruel? No, what Houston is going to do to Texas, ooh, this little Texas-style revenge right there. They're going to dominate Texas. The Rangers will not win a single game in this one. Astros reclaim the crown of best team in the Lone Star State. Now in the first division series, I have the 1-seed Dodgers versus the 4-seed Phillies. And I don't want to say this. Oh, this pains me so much. Phillies in 4. Yes, I understand. On paper, this Dodgers rotation looks incredible. It's probably going to be Yamamoto, Snell, Kershaw? Or no, Glasnow, Kershaw? That's not necessarily the 4 you would... It's a very good 4, but they match up very well to the Phillies 4. And the Phillies, their lineup, I think, is just more consistent. It's more homer happy. Their bullpen is better than ours because... I'll give you an example of what the Dodgers bullpen looks like right now. And yes, I understand Blake Trinan is not pitching back-to-back days, especially after traveling across the country. I understand that. However, if Anthony Banda and Brock Stewart are pitching in tied games in the 8th and ninth inning, respectively, something has gone horribly, horribly wrong. Yes, I know, no Kopech, no Yates, no Tanner Scott. I understand all of this. But you're telling me you don't trust Ben Kasparius in this spot? It really hurts, but this Dodgers team is going to lose in the division series. It's going to be painful, but it needs to be done. And in the second one, this one is going to be Kaiju versus Kaiju. It is a clash of the Titans here. Mets versus Cubs. And I have the Cubs, man. They're winning in 5. It's just too dominant of a team here. Is PCA, Bush, all of them, they hit home runs at such a great rate, combined with a rotation that, again, isn't the best. But the Mets rotation also has a lot of question marks here. It is going to be incredible, but really the tie-breaking factor for me is Game 5 is going to be at Wrigley Field as opposed to Citi Field. Home field advantage absolutely matters, and I think that's why the Cubs are going to win. And in the ALCS, we have a rematch of the series we thought was going to kill the Houston Dynasty. Turns out they have to do it one more time. I got the Tigers versus the Astros, and I have the Tigers taking this one. They are incredible all throughout. I think it is going to be very hard. Yes, is Tarek Skubal versus Hunter Brown going to be probably the pitching matchup of the playoffs? Absolutely. But it does not mean it is going to be a good matchup for Houston after that. They have too many question marks. I think it's just not their time. I think Houston is going to fall in 6 to the Tigers, who advanced to their first World Series since 2012. And joining them is a team who went to a World Series a little bit more recently here, because in the Phillies, Cubs, NLCS, I have the Phillies beating the Cubs in 7 here. Oh, it's going to be fireworks throughout. These lineups are going to be hitting bombs. The pitching is going to be on point for Philadelphia because they have the strong rotation. The Cubs have a strong bullpen. And yes, I understand bullpens are very important in the modern game. But I keep saying the team everyone talks about, Kansas City Royals, that revolutionized the game and told you can bullpen it, they still average 6 innings per start from their starters in the wins. So they need to get 6 innings. I trust the Phillies rotation to get 6 innings more consistently than I trust the Cubs. So the Phillies are going to take this one in 7. Ooh, and we have a phenomenal World Series here. A battle of the swing states. We got the Detroit Tigers versus the Philadelphia Phillies. And Bryce Harper is not getting that first ring. I think the Tigers are going to be World Series champions this year. There are not that many holes on this roster here. Yes, you could talk about Dodger legend Trey Sweeney being a very subpar shortstop here, but it doesn't really matter too much here. You can talk about, like I have, that the Tigers' rotation is not great behind Tarek Skubal, but you still have Tarek Skubal, who's going to pitch at least 2 games in this series. I would not be surprised if they threw him out there on short rest to try and win it. Reese Olson is fantastic. Jack Flaherty is good for 1 playoff start a series, and he only has to pitch 1. As Chris Paddock and Charlie Morton, I think one of them is going to be a lot better than you think when they come to this team. This Tigers team is a machine at this point. I think they are going to win the World Series in 6. And if you want me to give you a World Series MVP, you know what? Javier Baez is World Series MVP. It's that kind of season for the Tigers. But let me know. Who's your World Series MVP for the Tigers? Or do I just have it wrong entirely? Am I too low on the Toronto Blue Jays? Am I the one Dodgers fan willing to admit the problem? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, if you enjoyed the content, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the Run the Play Network, and don't forget on the way out, play ball.